realize how important it is. We feel that we're approaching a critical time in our history, and that it's really important for us to have a good handle on what we have and how this country came to be. And as Thomas Jefferson said, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free, then it expects what never was and never will be. He has served in the Utah Air National Guard. He has worked as an executive for AT&T and for Utah State University as the director of the telecommunications department. Among other degrees, he has a PhD in constitutional law. Scott has had a love for America and the Constitution from a young age. He's the founder and chairman of the Constitutional Commemoration Foundation, a nonprofit educational organization to teach about proper government as practiced at our founding. He's the author of the book and DVD lecture series To Preserve the Nation. He hosts a weekly radio show and teaches a weekly class devoted to constitutional principles and their application to today's issues. Scott has been active in politics for 40 years, serving many positions as well as state central committee member for the Republican Party. This year, Scott is also running for Senate under the Constitution Party, or I should say he reluctantly agreed to run. Though that's not the focus tonight, we've invited him to bring some information on his campaign, which can be found on one of those tables back there. And first, we're going to have his wife, Tamra, introduce them, and let's welcome Tamra. And Scott will just speak right after.
I've never gotten a hand before. I'm always a silent one in the back row. First of all, I just want to tell you that this is beautiful. I love it here. We're a mountain family, and your mountains are gorgeous, this park. And as soon as that sun goes behind that tree, it's going to be really nice for you guys. It's plenty fine up here. I just wanted to give I think I'm giving kind of another brief introduction to our family. Our family has always said that different spirits come to this earth with this fire of freedom burning in their heart. And it's an interesting thing in our family is all of our family has that. And I know many of you do. And it's interesting, we found those two kinds of people in relation to this. Those that as soon as they hear the message, they just grasp it, they know it's true, and those that no matter how much you talk to, how much you explain, they never get it. And so if you have that fire in your heart for this Constitution and our freedoms, you've been very blessed, and you went to special classes before this earth life. Like they said, we've got 6 grandchildren, 1 on the way, and I think that's the purpose that our family does these things. And Scott's message is not so much for us as for our grandchildren, our posterity, and that's the same reason that the Founding Fathers did it. And Scott has been dedicated at this for many, many years. This isn't something that just came up with the campaign. He's been doing this since he was a little boy, and ever since I've known him, I met him in 1972, I think. He's had this fire burning, these feelings. He's been doing classes since we moved to Logan in 20 years ago. And at that time in Logan, we did weekly classes at the library. We've done them in our home. We've done them in our home till we had to move out of our home because it ended up that we had 50 people coming. We had people all lined down the stairs to hear Scott speak. And now we meet at the book table every week on Wednesday night, tomorrow night. And anytime you guys want to come up there, it's at 7 o'clock on the 2nd floor. Scott has testified against the U.S. Patriot Act in a hearing before the U.S. Senate Judiciary with Hatch there. He's always stood up for correct principles. He has studied, and in all his studies, always goes back to the wellspring, and that's the founder's words, and he uses the scriptures. And I never seen him go off following this person or this person. It's always back to the wellspring. And so whenever people say the Constitution can mean whatever you want it to mean, he can debunk that. The Constitution's words have meaning, and those meanings can be known. I hear that all the time. For years, for 20 years, we've been doing the Constitution commemoration up in Cache Valley, and that included speech contests. We had flag ceremonies up at the university, down at the Logan Tabernacle. We had F-16 flyovers. We had quiz contests. We had a fireside, the Prelude to Freedom, where we'd get great speakers from the LDS Church. We had lots of those. And then Scott wrote a full-blown pageant. And we had a little lady that we met that put on pageants for our church in New Zealand. And come over here, and she took this up. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen it, but it was incredible. It had 150 in the cast, and we started with Columbus and went clear through the signing of the Constitution with incredible music and scenes from today, war scenes, and we'd still be doing that, except the university upped their price of their things so many thousands of dollars that we couldn't afford to do it anymore. Everything that we've done has been free of charge. There's never been a class or anything that he has charged for, but he does have a book and lecture series, and that was a real act of love. He spent a few years in his little office upstairs in that room. Sometimes we wouldn't see him 14 hours a day, writing this 500-page book, and then we put together a lecture series that I'm telling you, the challenges were amazing. We went and filmed it in Orem, and 17 lectures, and the guy that filmed them lost half the lectures, so we went and redid those, and then he lost the sound on those. So we just got together and we set up a place, and we went and filmed them, and he does an amazing job. And if you listen to his lectures, he doesn't have those written out. He's not reading those cue things that you read down like that. That comes right out of his mind, and it is just amazing. He does his radio show every Saturday. You can listen to 3 hours of lessons on the Constitution. And, I forgot. This Saturday, he has a really interesting lady that studied Kinsey and his education on, sex education and such, and she's debunked him and his false philosophies, and it should be really interesting. It's on Liberty News Radio, and then you just go to Listen Now, and I always use Flash, and it says recommended, and it's 3 hours, and it starts at 10 o'clock. It doesn't come here. Let me see if there's something. I feel like I've missed. Just 1 second. I want to say about our Constitution commemoration. The Prelude to Freedom we'll be doing this September 17th at the Logan Tabernacle. And we bring back, hopefully, the Founding Fathers, and we'll have we'll have wonderful music. Because Scott's running for office, will not be able to participate at all, but he will be there, but he's still helping with the program. But, this whole spirit of freedom is so real, and I can bear testimony so many times that during our programs that those founders have been there in person.